Okay, let's talk about healthy screen use and why we really need to look way beyond just counting minutes. To kick things off, I want you to picture a scenario.
Imagine two kids, and they're both spending exactly 1 hour on a screen today. Child A, they're watching a space documentary with a parent, asking all sorts of questions, and right after, they run outside to build a cardboard rocket. Now look at child B. They spend that exact same hour scrolling rapidly through short, algorithmic videos all alone. And when time's up, they feel restless and agitated. It's the exact same amount of time, right? But it's an entirely different experience.
So, both of these kids spent exactly 60 minutes on a device. The clock is showing the exact same number. But measuring time alone, it's a fundamentally incomplete way to judge digital health. I mean, think about it. A video call with a grandparent is definitely not the same as endless doom scrolling. We clearly need a better way to measure this. And that brings us to what we call the 5-question screen check. Instead of just, setting a timer and crossing our fingers, this gives us a structured, actionable way to evaluate digital habits, completely guilt-free.
All right, question 1. What is the child doing? This is all about evaluating the actual content. Is it age appropriate? Are they creating something, communicating with a friend, maybe solving a puzzle? Or are they just passively swiping through content that's literally designed to have no natural stopping point?
Now, I really want to clarify a massive misconception here. Entertainment is not automatically bad. Kids absolutely need time to just relax and enjoy themselves. The key difference is whether that content is safe, whether they understand it, and if it actually comes to a natural end. Creating digital art or watching a fun, safe show is vastly different from passive, endless consumption.
Moving on to question 2. Why is the screen being used? We have to look at the actual purpose behind handing over that device in that specific moment. Are they using it to learn a new skill, connect with family, or is it just being used as a crutch? Because a screen can be an amazing, purposeful tool, or it can become an automatic escape hatch. If a phone gets handed over every single time a kid is bored, or waiting in line at the grocery store, or feeling a little uncomfortable, it quickly becomes their go-to coping mechanism. And that literally robs them of the chance to practice patience and emotional regulation.
So, question 3. Is anyone guiding or sharing the experience? Parental involvement completely changes the game when it comes to digital quality. Now, don't worry, you absolutely do not need to hover and watch every single second of what they're doing. But younger kids especially get a massive benefit when adults occasionally sit down to watch, play, or explore right alongside them. You can literally turn passive, isolating screen time into an active conversation just by asking a few beautifully simple questions. Try asking, hey, what do you think is happening here? Or is this real or pretend? Or even, what did that game make you think about? Shared use sparks so much reflection just by showing you're genuinely interested in their digital world.
Now, question 4 might actually be the most revealing one of all. What is the screen replacing? This is where we zoom out and look at the broader context of a child's day-to-day life. Because here's the thing, a screen activity can be super enjoyable, perfectly safe, and even educational, but it can still become unhealthy if it's constantly overshadowing the fundamental building blocks of a balanced childhood. Is it replacing physical movement, face-to-face time with friends, family dinners, sleep? A healthy digital balance simply means that technology isn't crowding out those essential human needs. And finally, question 5. What happens after the screen is turned off? We really need to observe the child's behavior here, not just the clock on the wall. When the device powers down, can they transition to something else with, a reasonable amount of support? Do they stay curious and calm? Or are you seeing this repeated pattern where they become chronically overstimulated, exhausted, irritable, and just can't seem to enjoy anything else? Now, to be fair, one meltdown doesn't mean an activity is toxic, but we are looking out for repeated patterns over time. Okay, let's pivot for a second and look at some common pitfalls. And listen, these are basically just universal modern habits at this point. If you recognize yourself in any of these, don't sweat it. They are super easy to acknowledge and shift away from once you spot them. Some of the most common mistakes include solely measuring minutes or feeling like we have to fill every single empty moment, like waiting at a restaurant, with a device. That just kills the space for observation and self-directed play. It's also really easy to assume that any video labeled educational is automatically healthy, even if it's incredibly fast-paced and confusing. And this is a big one. We can't really demand balance from our kids if we, the adults, are constantly glued to our phones at the dinner table. Plus, constantly using screens as rewards or punishments can accidentally backfire, making the screens seem like literally the most valuable commodity in their entire world.
So, what's a realistic solution here? Families do not need some hyper-rigid military-style schedule. You just need to map out a day where those important physical and social needs are highly protected. Think about how we can integrate screens peacefully by fitting them into the day rather than making them the absolute center of it. For example, devices stay outside the bedroom to protect sleep. Meals are totally screen-free to protect family relationships. And planned screen time only happens after responsibilities like homework or physical activity are knocked out. The exact order is totally up to you, but screens just become one part of a much fuller life.
When you start communicating this shift at home, try inviting a bit of family reflection instead of just barking commands. Try saying something like, "We're not removing screens from your life. We are just making sure there's room for sleep, movement, family, and play too." Framing it this way really empowers kids to understand the why behind the rules and helps them gradually become conscious users themselves. To help kickstart this, let's try a fun, low-stakes experiment. We'll call it the 7-day quality experiment.
Here's how it works. For just the next 7 days, I want you to completely stop focusing on total screen minutes. Instead, observe just one regular screen activity your child does, using those 5 questions we just covered. Then, just make one small improvement. Maybe you choose the content together beforehand, or maybe you replace an automatic phone habit in the car with just chatting. The goal here isn't to create a screen-free family. It's to create a highly conscious one.
Because the real warning sign isn't just that a screen is present, it's when a screen starts replacing curiosity and real connection. Technology is an incredible tool when it has a healthy place. So as you reevaluate your own family's digital balance, the absolute best question to ask isn't, "How long was my child on a screen today?" It's this: what kind of experience did that screen create, and what kind of life remained around it?